Gosh.
All right. Well, on that note,
Real
hello everyone joining us and anyone watching on the replay. Welcome to Aaron's Reading Room. Today we're going to be discussing How to Lose the Time War by, oh my gosh, I always butcher this.
Amal El-Mohtar, I think.
Amal.
I'm probably butchering properly saying that.
Yeah, I don't remember the author's name.
Sorry.
I know it's two authors.
Do you have a physical copy there, Alicia? You
Yeah,
just
I
pulled
do.
it out. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, and Max
And-
Gladstone, I think.
Yes, I think he was a translator on it.
Oh, that
Was he
makes
the translator?
that makes a lot of sense.
I think this was
Okay.
written.
That makes
It was
much more
like a
sense.
translated
or
work.
written- Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm,
Gotcha.
Okay, I totally thought it was two authors because it's like, oh, red and
At
blue.
first, yeah, I thought the same thing.
Well, and I have my co-host with me, Alicia, Charles from Books on Stereo, and my good friend Ryan. All right, so let's go around. What's initial thoughts on everything? Go ahead, Alicia.
The first time I read it yesterday, I was like, "This is too smart for me." I felt really stupid at first, but now that I've read it twice and like I really really liked it, I feel like it grows more on you with reread. This has reread potential because it grows.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. What about you, Ryan?
For me, for being such a short book, I found it kind of just, oh my God, so boring. So much of like the beginning, especially just first, like, oh my gosh, we're just talking, we're talking about imaginary made up stuff that doesn't matter to anyone ever.
That was a surprise. I thought you would love this book.
I thought you would like
I
it
thought
too.
it was
because
totally
I
up your alley. I'm like,
right
I'm
up your
so
alley.
confused.
It just,
speculative,
I
it's
struggle with
meandering.
time travel,
Okay.
and the I just have such a thing against it. It's just like,
But you're a
you know,
sci-fi guy. That's like a big
I
thing in
am,
sci-fi.
but like it's so cliche and it's so like, it's these diverging paths and these collapsing paths and stuff, and it's just it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Time travel to me is just so, you know what? It doesn't exist. I think the fact that we're sitting here and nothing has ever changed, like, no, it doesn't exist. It can't be
What?
done.
You know what? Phase swords and blasters and light speed travel.
Those
don't
are
exist either.
possible. Those are possible.
Those are realistic.
Yeah. I mean, there's always possibility. There's not probability. There's possibility.
Well, all right. I thought this would be a good compromise for it. I thought it'd be right up your alley, at least in the sci-fi element of it. But Charles, what did you think?
It depends. It depends on how I'm feeling. Right now it's between a 4 and a 5.
Mhm.
But I do have to add a caveat is that it takes quite a bit of time to actually know what's really going on with this story. You're kind of just thrown in. And you're like, okay, and it makes sense by the end. You're like, okay, now we're like, okay, it's like two time agents. They're going back and forth, but I quite enjoyed it. I think this is a book that you can revisit, like Alicia said, over and over again, and you may get more out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of just wish we got to like explore the world a little bit more about the character's backstory and all of that. So like, I'm kind of conflicted. I like it, but I do see that it has its problems. It's the best way to sum it up.
Yeah. I really liked it as well. I think I'd give it a 5-star because I keep thinking about it. Like I just keep thinking back on it, and I had a really good time reading through it. I guess I picked up pretty quick that what was happening around these two characters really wasn't important at all, and it was just about the two of them and their communications back and forth and these clever ways that they're leaving messages for each other. So, but
that was the biggest part where I had the most questions is like the outward stuff. I was like, what in one letter, one of them says they turned into a werewolf and saw the other person. And I was like, wait, we're in a world where we can shift into other things? I'm confused. Okay. And then they never bring it up again. I'm like, hello, okay.
Yeah, it was sapphic.
Yeah, well, I think the point there is that they're from so far in the future where pretty much anything is possible, for them to do in the past, whether it's, shape shifting or all these crazy technologies, Or even what was it? Some quip where I was remembering like they were talking about like, oh yeah, I mean I still eat food, but like nobody admits to eating food in my reality or in my
Or
team.
no one
Like
enjoys it.
exactly. No one admits that they want to do it.
No one admits.
Yeah, ew, gross.
Like food. Who wants
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I guess the one thing that I could have used a little more clarification on was garden. Like I couldn't quite grasp
Yeah.
that side of things. So that's
Mhm.
Blue's side of the Time War. And it just it seemed like everything explained on that side was just like all an allegory. There wasn't really any kind of, like, oh, we're grown in pockets of time. It's like, what's that mean?
I feel like the writing was a little bit flowery in the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. But
it was
I
like
loved
almost
it.
border. That's why like it's a little bit hard to kind of delve into because I'm like, okay, it's a little bit too flowery right now. Just cut it down and let's get to the point. I kind of like agree with your point. I got used to the writing as the novella went on.
Mm-hmm.
I got used to it, but I was like, okay, this is a little bit overly flowery and purple prosy for my taste.
I personally feel like they shoved too much into a small book. Yeah. It could have been a lot longer. Like, I mean that in like, I really like the project of it, but I wanted it to be like at least another 100 pages so I could get more into it. Somewhat.
I feel like it's on the longer end of novellas because the audio is like 4 hours.
Yeah, is it technically a novella or?
It's a novella.
Okay. Because it's 200.
It's technically a novella. It's like I think it's like borderline where like it can be considered a full length by like I forgot the word count cut off.
I think it's 50,000
in the physical.
Yeah, because I see novellas that like are like 5 hours on audio.
Right.
I don't know how that translates to exactly the word count, but it's on the longer side for a novella.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone? I'm going to turn this on here. Did anyone notice? Did anyone call the Seeker character before the reveal of that happened?
No. That one over
Honestly,
my head.
I don't even remember who the Seeker was. Yeah.
So the Seeker was this like shadow, is how Red described them. That was following them, and a lot of the letters that were read were actually from the Seeker's point of view. So the person following behind, like reconstructing the message, and when you're hearing the actual message, it's the Seeker that's hearing them or reading them.
Okay.
And so and so when it got to Red going back like on their own timeline and then doing all those things and everything, I was like, oh, okay, that's how they're gonna wrap it all up. Which I don't know. Was this a happy ending? What do you think?
Optimistic.
I consider it. It's happy-ish.
Happy for now.
Yeah, because
it's not a romance, so like it can end however it wants to end in my mind. I just like that it was sapphic. I was like, oh
yeah, I really like
that. It's rare that you see sapphic sci-fi stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And then audiobook narrators were like perfection for this audiobook.
Yeah, they did really good on it.
It was really good.
Did you listen to it on audio, Ryan?
Yeah, I did. Okay. Interesting. I guess I just haven't listened to enough audiobook narrators, It's one of those things where I see Charles' collection. I see Charles' collection and he's like, oh, through 3,600 books or whatever, and I'm like sitting here with my 6 audiobooks.
It's okay. Just choose good narrators. Emily is good. You will like have you read The Poppy War? By R.R. Kwong? You will like that.
The Poppy War made me cry. Not many books make me legitimately cry, and that book made me sob like a child.
I forgot what. It's like dark reimagining of ancient Chinese history.
The Rape of Nanjing and...
The Rape of Nanjing. And
Chapter
21 is the main character.
21 is going to break you. I'm just going to say it's not what you think, but it's a very hard...
Dark.
You have to go in knowing that it's dark.
But it's really well written. Like, it's a really good read. It's only a trilogy. It's done.
Yeah.
But Emily, one of the narrators in this one, I think she narrated Blue. She narrates that series.
That's why I recognize. Okay, that makes sense. That's why I recognize the one voice. Okay.
Yeah, Emily Wuzeller.
Okay. I heard that the chapter in the Poppy War,
21.
some people took issue with it
Hey,
because it
talk
just
about
felt
the
like
end.
it felt like gore porn. But I guess if it was trying to embody an actual historical event,
It's an actual event.
Yeah.
If you look up what actually happened, what actually happens a lot worse.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately,
like,
that's yeah.
But the ending, Alicia, you know, I hated the main character after what she did in the end. I was like,
I did not like her.
There it goes.
Thing. I hated her. Like, she was so annoying.
I liked her up until that point. And then the rest of the series, I'm like, okay, now I'm like on a countdown of waiting for you to die.
Yeah, I know.
Like, if you don't die by the end, there's like not enough justice in the world. Ryan, you have to read it and let us know your thoughts.
The first two are my favorites. Like, I love the second one. The second one's great.
That one is really dark.
Charles, you haven't picked a book yet for the club. You haven't been a selector yet, so we can leave September up to you.
If I choose a book, then I probably won't read it, and then I'll probably forget about the live show.
Well, just pick one you've already read before, and then you can just come and focus.
I did that for Nicole's channel, and I forgot about the live show. Read it. So if someone else wants to choose it and just use my, and I strongly suggest that.
So what? A really dark, smutty romance? Is that your criteria? Oh, you want to do the Poppy War? Okay.
Yeah. I need to finish the third book.
I didn't like it.
I couldn't. Okay, it's like one of those books that puts you in a mental funk because it's so realistic.
The first one did. I did not. I literally took a year between book 1 and book 2.
Book 2, I was like, okay, now I think I have depression. After reading this book.
It's a mental. It like literally takes you through it, and you're just like, I think I have problems.
I was like, can I get another POV? Like, I need to get out of her head.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. I didn't like her, and I'm just like, I don't want to constantly hear from her, but I get what she's going for.
It could be a blurb on the front cover. We'll give you depression.
Or that is one of the caveats that I give to people. I'm like, you have to be in the right mindset for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's heavy. Yeah. Good.
Well, talking heavy, how when Blue was eating the poison plant and essentially getting Red's, like, what was going to be Red's last message, that was probably my favorite part of this book. That was just, man, just right through the heart.
She's like, I wish your betrayal was better or something like that.
What's that?
Like, did she say like something along the lines of like, I wish it was like better done, your betrayal? If this was your game all the way to the end, like this is how it ends.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, I applaud you anyways. I'm like, dang, Blue's a real. I love Blue.
Yeah, I liked Blue. I think was my favorite of the two.
Yeah.
But I think Red did have more of the story arc was with Red.
Yeah.
I seemed like I was understanding more when it was in the letters, like the stuff that wasn't letter format. I was just like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, was it an allegory for like drug use because they were talking about dropping a tea thing and snorting it up their nose? Like, I just didn't understand with some of the imagery what they were going for with some of the stuff.
Yeah, and I wonder how much was lost in translation.
Right. Yeah.
Which for this book having such flowery prose, like it's really interesting that this was a translated book.
I didn't even realize. I just thought it was two authors. I thought it was
two authors.
Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't even realize it was a translated.
Let me look at it.
Ryan, I'm curious. Why did you find it boring?
I don't know. It was just like
just the time travel.
Just such of a slog, and just like I don't know. Like I said, there's all these points where it was like they took all this effort to like point out these crazy technologies and stuff, and it was just like, okay, we get it. They're from the future. They can kind of do whatever they want to a degree. Like it was just kind of like, what's the point of, oh, there's this other new technology, or there's this and then there's that. And then like for me it was just kind of like, okay, come on, we get it. Like, and it was kind of that thing where for me at least it was that conversation. Like it reminds me of um like you hear about movies like Reservoir Dogs, right? That's universally known as a gory movie, but
It's a
really
great movie though.
it's a conversation that's being had. That
Yeah.
is what that movie is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you don't ever actually
that's
see anything
yeah.
terrible happen. Yeah, you see some aftermath of, a little bit of blood and stuff, but it's like it's a movie about a conversation.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's what I
all
feel like this
Tarantino's
is. Yeah.
style.
Well,
That's in
yeah, but
all
I
of
mean
his
like
movies.
I feel like in this one, like the same kind of thing where it's like, okay, this is a book about a conversation. Like
Mhm.
how much of it, I get that you were trying to convey a message, but how hard do you really need to drive that home? Like, because it's like you, just like Alicia said, it just starts coming at you and you're just like, what the hell is going on here? What, like, why am I not getting this? And then it's like when you stop and think and be like, oh wait, it's not necessarily about all the other stuff, it's about the conversation.
But when we got to the conversation, I was like, I'm getting this. It was the other stuff that I was just like, okay,
Right.
why not just make it all the conversation? Make it like an epistolary novel and let that be it.
I think
Yeah.
it's because she had to give some details
Yeah.
about the world. I think
Mhm.
to your point, Ryan, she was using this shortcut of just saying it's the future, anything is possible. So
Yeah.
she didn't have to explain really anything.
Right,
She'd go,
right.
okay, now we have this new interesting technology, or this new crazy new thing to
Or
kind
the
of
fact
advance
that,
our story, to kind of give you some
society doesn't do this
context.
anymore because they're so
Yeah.
advanced.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I'm perusing the wiki here, and I might have been talking out of my ass about the translation. So, yeah, I'm not seeing anything about translation there. So, my bad, everyone. Retraction.
Maybe document that Aaron
But
was
because
wrong.
it's so short, I'm surprised.
Well,
who wrote it.
it's been immortalized on the internet.
Just have people come up to you like, oh yeah, this book is a translation. Where did you hear that? From Aaron's channel.
Yeah. You obviously didn't watch the whole video, so
Everyone's gonna watch that first couple minutes when you enter the book.
I think some of the technology was put in because they wanted to play with the creative ways that they were sending messages, trying to hide from their superiors that they were trading messages with each other, which was interesting, but
Yeah.
I guess but
Did
was
they change
confusing sometimes.
Did they change ages? Because I remember one section, I can't remember if it was blue or red, where she was like, oh yeah, I'm 13. And I'm like, but you're talking to someone you don't even know who age it is. That's like really disturbing in a way. It was earlier in the book, like where she was like, I'm 13, and I'm just like, that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can't. Because
but they never bring it up again. Like stuff gets brought up and then they never touch it again.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, but okay.
Because they both did go back and like watch the other one as a child, like
right.
kind of creepily.
Sorry, that is not cute. That's creepy. I'm sorry, that's just disturbing.
Yeah, well, and then when it was in the climax and Red went back and like essentially gave Blue an antidote by making child Blue drink her blood or something like that.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, okay, this is getting a little. We're bordering on grooming here now.
And like an interview with a vampire-esque.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like hardcore.
I kind of still want to read that because of the TV show.
It's so good. The first one is so good. It's so good.
Have you seen the trailer?
No,
I don't know in the book. I know in the TV show they made like, I don't know the other guy, the guy who's giving the interview, African American.
Louis?
They said in New Orleans.
Louis.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, I read all those books way back in the day.
They're another one that are depressing.
I really love them. And that's why I have so many issues with vampires now in books. I'm just like, nope. Because like That was kind of the original back in the. I think she started writing those in the late 70s and 80s.
78, I think the first one came out.
Yeah, like
77,
70s and
something like that.
80s, and it was just one of those things where all the new vampire stuff now I really struggle with.
The glitter.
Yeah, dude, it's like
Glitter.
no, well, because in her books, like once they become vampires, they're asexual. Their sexual organs don't work.
But
Boring.
there's always a very like
But it's always about
It's
their
like it's sexual
relationships with each
drinking
other.
someone's
Yeah,
blood.
yeah, like
I don't know what the
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole. We miss you, but feel better.
feel better.
yeah, I don't know. Those books for me were definitely one of my earlier reads, and
I've been having a hard time
You
trying
know.
to find them actually.
Really?
Really?
I don't have copies anymore. They were old copies that fell apart. Yeah.
Yeah. Finding used books in the Midwest too is tricky.
Yeah. Especially in a state where people don't read where I live. This is the state where they're trying to ban every book humanly possible that a child could read.
Oh,
So
goodness.
don't don't get me started on that one.
That's a whole other show on its own.
Yeah.
Miss you guys too. Hopefully gonna kick this nausea soon. Yes.
Get better, Nicole.
Yeah, I feel better.
Well, let's see. What else is there? I knew this probably wasn't going to be the longest live here because the book was pretty short and contained. Alicia, do you have tabs?
I have tabs up just out of like mainly confusion. Where are my tabs?
Oh yeah.
Just like
You got a
like
lot of them.
I just like the
I
whole.
like how when I get confused, I just go, okay, let's just keep on reading. Hopefully
See,
it
like
makes sense.
I'm like, I need to figure this out. My brain just like I can't just go with it. My brain's like, I need to figure this shit out now, or I'm not gonna understand it. Like I don't know what's wrong with my brain.
I get that. I'm more like, give me the high level. I don't care about the details of the story. That is for reread.
Yeah.
I want to know like high concept. What happens? This happens A, B, C. Okay, boom. That's all I need to know because I'm probably gonna forget about all the details in like a week or so. So I'm like, give me the.
Well,
if I don't understand things, I'm like,
books
oh yeah. It was so bad. I recommended a book to someone. It was like The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas.
No.
And it didn't click that like a school, like there's like, okay, it's like not a spoiler, but like
No,
the
it's in the
ghost
first.
was a part of the school
Okay.
shooting.
Yeah.
And like he's back and like terrorizing our main character in the present day. It didn't register to me. I was like, okay, why didn't anyone else make a big deal about when the book
Why
came out?
wasn't there?
Like,
Why wasn't there
wait,
content warnings in that book?
there's
It's
no,
my
'cause,
biggest
like,
thing.
That
There's
would
you
be
none.
actually see a scene where when they flash back in time, it's not
There
like
was one scene I had to stop the audio. I was like, no. You probably know what
I read
scene.
ARC and I just was like flying through it. I was like,
I mean, it was a great book, but like there was no like you're like, wait, what? No, we're gonna watch a child do what? No, like no.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking about like 14-year-olds. I'm like, this is not okay.
I felt awkward when I was like, oh, I was gonna donate this. Do you want this book for your classroom for like high schoolers? I was like, okay.
I donated it to the
Penguin
library,
Teen
but I
sent it
put
to
all the
me,
content
so like
warnings in it.
I didn't think anything that had to come because they didn't put any content warnings on the ARC.
They needed to. They didn't put any content warnings in the finished book. There's nothing.
Oh, they didn't like me enough to give me a finished copy.
There's none.
I'm
Like,
still salty about that.
I read it
I had
last
to
year
buy
for
my
Black
own.
Alina-con, and I was like, this is like I don't get triggered by much, but that one hit me. I was like, I need to put this down.
So like if you, without that, like it's such a good story.
It is, but I think
I
don't recommend it for teenagers.
Book. I was like, okay, I see you, Ryan. I'm like,
I don't recommend it for 12-year-olds. Like it's technically a middle grade, and I do not recommend it for a 12-year-old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a Penguin Teen title.
No. Like
Yeah, a lot of times I don't remember the details of the stuff I recommend, so take all my recommendations with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I'm reading the filleting book. Thank you very much. The
one?
romance fillet book.
Which
He
book
kills
are you
people
reading?
for the This One Hurts. I'm working
I
my
love
way
that
through.
book though.
The serial
He
killer
has
romance.
filleting in it. The word filleting is in that book while he's killing someone, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Okay, that's on you. The author warned you in the
I
content
know.
warning.
She's
She's like, this book will get extremely dark. So if you have any trigger warnings, do not read it.
Even though you gave me all the warnings, I was like, in certain scenes, I was like, whoa, okay, I gotta put this down a little bit. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, it gets pretty, like, if you're not a dark romance reader, it gets pretty graphic.
Okay.
It gets graphic.
Yeah.
There's a scene with her parents. I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah, that one doesn't sound like it's for me.
But no.
Aaron, you would like it. You would like it. Just try it.
Would I? I don't know.
We had a whole conversation about how we don't understand what these stalking romances. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
stalking and dark romance is a love language.
It's not okay.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
It's a dark romance love language, not real life.
I'm quite biased on the matter, and I can take stalking, kidnapping if it's the female lead doing it.
See, yeah.
That's fine. That works. That works really well for me.
What? That's a very interesting caveat, Aaron.
A little more insight into Aaron's fantasies than I wanted to know.
You know, it's just when you got to deal with like your family and your job and like all this stuff all the time, you know, the idea of someone just like, you know, removing you from that and being like, hey, we're just gonna, you know, bang it out for a while. Like, hey, all right.
Like 365 days on Netflix or whatever.
Right
hey, I'm gonna kidnap you for a year to make you fall in love with me and I'll pay for everything.
So, Aaron, if you go missing for a year, we won't worry about you.
Yeah, don't
we'll know that Aaron's living his best life.
He's living his best life.
And he's got plausible deniability. Why'd you vanish? She kidnapped me. I don't know.
I couldn't do anything.
Oh man.
Joni Rex with the female main character doing the kidnapping.
I don't think they exist.
It's
make a video.
Kiss of the Demon King by Kresley Cole is it's book 6 or 7 in Immortals After Dark, I think.
Oh, Sabine. But that's in the beginning. Oh, that's just like one part.
No, but she holds him captive for like half the book, just like in chains on her bed. It was quite good.
I haven't gotten past the first one yet.
First one is rough, yeah. Like you just got to power through the first one, or honestly, just start with the second one.
Okay, because I have this. Someone randomly gifted me without giving me like a gift receipt, so I don't know who. I actually messaged Nicole. I was like, "You're the only person that has my address. Like, did you send this to me?" And she's like, "No."
I would recommend the 2 Demon books, the Demon Brothers.
That's,
So that's the one Aaron's talking about. I forgot that
6
by the Demon King.
Then the one before it was Cadion and the Ghost, right? And then Kiss of the Demon
it's 5 and 6.
Maelstrom and Sabine.
You can read whatever you. I think if you want to read the werewolves, there's 3 books for 3 different brothers. If you want to read more about the Valkyries, they have their own books. You can start anywhere you want.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and some of them are
I've always been intimidated because that series is so big that I'm like,
oh yeah, they have 0 carryover most of the time.
Really? Okay. I didn't know if it was like I had to start
all backs of characters,
the extension or whatever. Like they're all gonna duke it out at some point.
I know.
I think you sent it
to me and didn't want to admit you sent it to me. You're the only person that has my address.
Okay.
The second one is more tame.
Yeah. The forcing her to give him a hand job in the shower, like after they met for like 10 minutes, you know, that was a little rough.
Is it one of those you can tell that it was written in like the early 90s? Just by how it's written.
It had that vibe, yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, that's why I'm whipped for Kresley Cole.
Well, I tried to read the series that they based True Blood on, and I'm like, this is garbage.
Have you read her Mafia series?
I liked it a little.
True Blood was weird for me. It was very like, I was like, okay, one season I'm totally down. The next season I was like, this is garbage. And then the next season would come out, I'd be like, yeah, I'm totally down. And then the next season, this is trash.
The first and the 4th season were my favorites. Other than that, the rest of them were trash.
I was never a fan. I couldn't hang
either.
Well, they killed in the books. They killed the best character in like the second book in the first 10 pages. They killed Lafayette in the first 10 pages.
Oh, that early.
Yeah, and I'm like, and you can tell that the woman, like, it's very racist in the book. I read the first 4, and it's very racist. Extremely racist.
Well, Nicole says, don't read the books.
I read the first book, and I wasn't impressed.
I read the first 3 or 4, and I was like, no, I'm good.
You're a real one.
Yeah,
for all this. I was like,
I don't know. I just couldn't. I mean, I've got nothing against Anna Paquin. I just couldn't stand that character.
I don't like her either.
Aaron, we have to talk about your preferences after your whole dark romance tirade.
I'm just saying.
We have to ask you specifically, what are your caveats?
My caveat is as a vampire. I'm in. Give me breath.
I don't know. I usually have
I want to be the one kidnapped.
I have a strong feeling on
the one to be pursued by a vampire.
And Anna Paquin's not bad.
Like I said, I have nothing against Anna Paquin. It's just for some reason, Sookie Stackhouse, the character, I cannot stand.
You think she's annoying in the show? Times that by 20 in the book. And at least 2 paragraphs in every book, she describes how big her boobs are. And I'm like, girl, no. Like,
she titted boobily across the room.
Yeah, it's like, no woman thinks like this. Like, no.
Oh god.
Alexander Skarsgård. Yeah,
I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people watch the show.
Right.
Oh
yes. Season 4, when he walks around naked for about 4 episodes, just walking.
I love the whole Skarsgård family. They're all amazing actors.
Yeah, they're all really
and they're all good looking. Like, whatever deal with the devil Stellan Skarsgård made, oh my god, everybody in his family's good looking. Like, I can't.
Dude, I love the one in Chernobyl. He was amazing.
The show?
Oh.
Yeah, the miniseries on HBO.
Stellan, right?
I think that was Stellan. Yeah, it was Stellan.
Yeah.
He's the patriarch, right?
And then the one guy.
No, he's the military general.
The one guy is the guy in the new It movies, and I'm like, absolutely not, because I don't know clowns.
I love those movies.
Clowns, it's a big no for me.
The first movie is so good.
I believe you, but I'm not gonna watch it.
And the second movie, I'm like, I can see why Stephen King kind of messed it up with the ending of it. I'm sorry.
Well, Stephen, when I found out there was a
orgy scene was not the way
it.
to bond these little kids together for life.
We're talking about the same scene. That is why I never read the book, and I never will. That's
if you watch part 2, it's nowhere in the movie. I was like, you realize in the book it's still very much there, and no one talks about it.
Yeah.
Everyone just wants to forget it happened.
And like, no one questions Stephen King. I was like, Stephen, what were you thinking?
He was probably high on. That was probably his coke, as he calls it, his coke era, where he was doing a bunch of coke.
Yeah.
That's what I can't get in trouble for saying that, because he calls it his coke era himself. So.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and it's where he drops a bunch of acid.
Like 2,000 pages or so.
And it can easily, you can cut out like
hours on audio. I was like, absolutely not. And it's about clowns, and I will never sleep.
It's not even that. I didn't find it that scary. It's more like I was scared to death of the length of it.
Charles, you don't understand my fear of clowns. I will run in the. I'm a grown ass woman. I will run in the opposite direction. I can't.
So remind myself to send Alicia something clown related.
Just get a little hand pump and some of those long balloons.
Oh, I can't. I was traumatized as like a 4-year-old. Someone came up to me and was trying to be cute and scared the crap out of me. And I think that's where it stems from.
Just like 1 month, Alicia gets a balloon animal. The next month, she gets a red nose.
Some face paint.
Like just prolong the torture.
I just
you might
can't
hear some circus music in the background. You may not.
No.
Nicole's gonna send you a Pennywise Fuko.
No! And Nicole has my address, so she can.
I tried to watch those newer movies. I got so bored in the first one. It was
They're like 3 hours long a piece.
It's like nothing's happening and nothing's scary either. It's just like
I feel like I watched them, but I literally just blocked it out. Like it wasn't that great. It was just like whatever.
I can't watch horror movies. I'm a wimp. I could
Hey,
read
it's
it all day
okay.
long.
I bought a ticket and then I watched the first scene and then I ran out. I was like, not today.
That's awesome.
I'm not joking. I went to go see the new Scream movie in theaters, and here's me in the back of the theater with like earplugs in, my hoodie all the way up to my eyes. And I'm just like totally just watching the movie like this the whole entire time.
That's just a slasher. That's not even
I don't
scary.
like slashers. I'm down with slashers.
Hey, someone calling me and harassing me on the phone and like popping up out of weird places and trying to stab me. That's a fear, man.
I suppose. Nothing gets me like ghosts. That's for some reason.
See,
That's
I just think
that's
a Casper. I'm
true
good.
scary thing.
I think a Casper and I'm fine.
No, as long as ghosts can't like enter your body and hijack you that way, and they can just be like annoying presences. Annoying presence. I'm like, okay, I'm fine.
Why do you think I smudged this place when I moved in? I was like, nothing's gonna get me. I don't give a shit. Nothing's gonna get me. I don't care how long I live here.
Has anyone seen the new Game of Thrones?
Yes, I just watched it.
Was it good?
I'm shocked to tell you that I actually liked it. I was surprised that I actually liked it.
Oh, okay.
At least for me, the jury's still out. I got to give it a couple more episodes before I decide if I like it. I don't know why, but I have a strong aversion to Matt Smith. And,
I love him. Oh my god.
I don't know. He was so just.
Much.
He's a little too zany on Doctor Who, and you can't unsee it.
Oh,
I don't know. He just always bothered me, and it's like him in a sex scene. I'm just creeped out. I'm just like, I don't want to see that.
I have to say though, the one scene that got me was the Lorena Bobbitt scene in the beginning. I was like, holy crap! I was not expecting that.
Well, like, so.
Oh my goodness, Nicole.
The premise is this is like, I don't know, 170 years before the original Game of Thrones. But there's basically, so far from the first episode, Matt Smith is kind of the bad guy in that he's the king's brother, and the king doesn't produce an heir. And so he's the presumptive heir because he's his brother. And basically he's kind of a jackhole that no one that works for the king likes. Like all of his other trusted advisors and stuff. Nobody likes him. And so they keep like shuffling him around to different jobs, and they make him the head of the city watch. And in the beginning there's a they're getting ready for this tournament, and he takes the city watch, and they're complaining about how much he spent on, training them and stuff. And they come out and they just lay down the long arm of the law, and like one night they just go out. It's gruesome. They kill and maim all these thieves, rapists, murderers.
I mean,
and so for one of the people, like, he was a rapist, so they chopped off his private parts.
Oh, it was just that, and
they felt the need to show the aftermath of like
and
it was like
it wasn't enough to imply it with Theon. We got to show it.
Oh yeah, it was like, and the part that really got me was that, like, when I saw that scene, I was like, that doesn't even look like anything. Like, I get that it was supposed to be his twig and berries, but no, I don't know. It's just
the scene that bothered me the most was the birth scene.
I heard about that.
And being a child that was born with that kind of procedure, like, I'm like, I don't need to see this shit. Like, you don't need to be as graphic as you're being in this scene. It's not necessary.
I didn't feel that was too bad. I just thought it was just like, God, it just goes to show the depravity of people. Where
it was gratuitous for no reason, though.
Like, that was my issue with the original show, is that they just, I mean, the A Song of Ice and Fire, the books, yes, they were brutal, but the show, like, stepped it up and kept stepping it up.
Well,
because we got to get that shock value in
situation, like where Alicia's saying, like, I can see where, showing that man's being, his,
and then not even
severed and stuff,
anything
like,
to
that's
her.
Gratuitous. What is the point of showing it?
Yeah.
Like, at least
the implications enough. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like as far as the birth goes, it's not like it was, in my mind, that graphic.
I just was like, not that I would like a warning for it, but like I went in knowing nothing. Like I've read Fire and Blood and all that stuff. I know what happens in the book, but like I was not expecting that to be episode 1. I was like, I'm sitting there drinking my coffee this morning, watching it, going, I was not planning on watching a medieval C-section in whatever year this is supposed to be.
I was worried about the show when the creators like said they wouldn't shy away from like sexual assault. I was like, okay, like that was one of the things Game of Thrones did dirty to a lot of its female characters. They showed a lot of graphic sexual assault scenes in the original Game of Thrones. So when they said that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, so you're stepping it up
and
now.
I had to like recount that. And I was like, okay, Lord of the Rings reboot TV show, you guys got my vote.
I'm tired of them rebooting stuff. Like they need to do some new stuff. Like take some of like Stephen Graham Jones' work and do like a mini series on that. Like something different.
I think his books are an option. I know like Tony Adeyemi has her Children of Blood and Bone. That's going to be produced.
That's option for like 5 years and we haven't gotten the third book.
I think I know it changed and like now she's like going to be a producer on it. And I think Beasts of Prey.
I just heard about Beasts of Prey.
That went to Netflix.
I really want
Bradley Cooper's doing. It's a sci-fi series.
Hyperion.
Yeah,
Hyperion. Okay, he's doing
Hyperion.
Hyperion.
That's gonna be cool. They better make it a show because I'm just
curious how they're gonna do it. It's like
there's Foundation on Apple TV too.
Yeah, I watched half of that. It wasn't too bad.
I couldn't get into it. I was like, okay,
honestly,
it's like a show I have to be 100%.
Yeah. The books are classics, but like honestly, they're okay.
Yeah, I feel like I blame this all because of the Dune reboot.
I did not.
Like, let's bring back all these classic fantasies.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm not a Dune fan. I'm not a Dune fan.
I'd rather them do a Game of Thrones like in the future instead of a prequel. I hate prequels. So you can kind of know where everything lands, and you can't really deviate.
That's pretty much what Dune is Game of Thrones in
the future. Exactly. Yeah. Now, my only issue with this new Game of Thrones series is like they're just like, hey, we're just gonna reuse everyone's names. It's like, oh, come on. Like, yes, they're family.
But blame George Martin for that because there's 5 different Aegons in there that are 5 different generations.
I know.
There are 3 different Viseriuses, and you're like, which one are they talking about? Like,
yeah, it's getting a little bit too much. It was like, okay, I figured this out, but it's like, oh, these are all just popular names of people. It's like, oh, shut up.
And sir, please don't work on it. He's working on a Fire and Blood 2. I'm like, please work on book 6. That's probably never gonna get.
Okay, let's just call it as he's never going to finish the book.
He's never gonna finish.
He's never going to finish the books.
Just let the old man rest. Like, we'll let him do what he
I
wants.
don't trust his ending for the original. Didn't you confirm that basically the ending of Game of Thrones was like, in general, what was going to happen? In the books?
he gave the producers of the show like his general notes of how he was planning to finish it. Yeah.
And
everyone knows how no one liked the last season of Game of Thrones
because it was rushed. It was 8 episodes when every other season was 12.
I rioted. I was like,
I was so angry. I was like, but what? No.
Well, that's just it. It should have been something where the last season should have been like 15 episodes. Like, give us the time. Let us build that.
And I rioted when I watched the end of The Sopranos.
The whole ice people and the whole the winter is coming. That was like 1 episode. And then it was done.
And then she magically stabs him in the air. Where the frig did that come from?
Out of nowhere, like
magically.
See, I felt that way by the Red Wedding in the original series. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here.
Well, that's when it stopped being good.
That's the only reason why I kept my head in the game. Stark is my favorite fan. I love those characters. They're noble and they're loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
But I love them.
That first book is still fantastic.
I love the Stark so much. I hate the Lannisters. Except Tyrion.
I don't know.
No one can hate Tyrion.
By book 5, you're kind of on Jaime's side, and you at least like, I don't know, you feel kind of bad for Cersei, even though she.
I'm sorry, but
even though she sucks,
I can never get past one thing, and it's incest. Just no.
Well, I heard that's like all about. I heard like this, like
Absolutely
there's so much
no.
incest in this new series. Like everyone's
Well,
marrying
yeah,
their
I
cousin,
mean,
their first cousin.
Yeah.
yeah,
That was-
like I mean, that's the whole point of that family is the reason why they had that Mad King, which is why Baratheon became the king, was because they just had so much inbreeding in that family.
His brain was Swiss cheese. Pretty much.
Yeah. But in
See,
the new
that-
series, do you know who are going to be the main who are going to probably survive the end of the season?
Well, so it seems
I know
to
Matt
be
Smith's character is going to survive.
so
he's-
Matt Smith's character is kind of like the antagonist there, and then the protagonist, I assume so far, it's obviously just the first episode, is going to be the king's daughter, and basically it's going to be them fighting for the title of the successor to the king.
Yeah.
To a kingdom that we know is just buried in lava eventually.
That's my point with prequels. Like you're building up to a dead end.
Yeah.
I was okay
It's
with
like-
the prequel, and now they're saying there's going to be a Jon Snow show, and I'm like, but I don't like him. Like, I don't care. I never liked him. Not even in the books. He was annoying. I don't care. And I'm
I
sorry.
feel like it's hard to
Karen
extend
can't
a show
him,
after you
but,
already
like,
had like a
yeah.
huge like imagine if like someone came out and said, oh, okay, we're gonna do like 5 new books continuing on this world of this beloved series. I'm like, I think it's really hard to do that.
Yeah.
We have like a mega popular series and not disappoint.
And I don't
everyone.
think the actor who is in Jon Snow can really act, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Kit Harington's not,
we love Jon
he's-
Snow.
he's not the best.
He's a very good looking man. He can't.
Hey, do not talk ill about my Starks. I ride or
He's
die
not
for
even
that
technically
family.
a Stark if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
He's half a Stark.
Oh,
He's half a Stark. Excuse you. Don't mess
Well,
with
if
my
you're so
Stark
worried
family.
about blood, why don't you go talk to your cousin or something? That's
Or your
when
cousin's
Jon Snow and
gay or
Daenerys spoke up, I was
whatever.
like, oh wait, they're related. Oh, this is awkward now.
That was just like, even before I was so grossed out by that whole thing, I'm like, no, stop. Just
And
stop.
they wanted to make it all romantic. I was like, oh no.
All right. Well, I think we've talked very much about other books than the book we read here,
Well,
but
if this
it was
short,
it was a
Went
short
on
one. It
like
was
this.
very short. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. It was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and go into banners here. So next week, I will be speaking with Harlequin Presents author Danny Collins. It's the 29th, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on this channel here. And then on the 31st, it is the Who Picked This Book Club live show, Her Off Limits Prince by Lucy Monroe. That's going to be on Nicole's channel. And we hope to see you all there. But until next time, thank you to my co-hosts. Thank you for everyone watching. And we will see you in the next video.